All right, Micah Dion here again for another tip of the week. So we're going to start a new topic this time, and it's going to be on the pose method of running. So this is going to be an introductory video, so we're not going to get into too much of the nitty-gritty detail, but in later videos we certainly will. So just give you a little oversight and an overview of this method. It was created by Dr. Nicholas Romanoff, a PhD scientist for exercise physiology for the former Soviet Union in the 70s. So they were a big powerhouse in gymnastics, running, all these other sports. So he was much more with running, more distance than anything else. So this running method is going to be more for distance runners versus sprinting mechanics and runners. So kind of the background, just looking at, hey, how do we prevent injury as much as we can and increase performance and efficient locomotion within humans? So looking at biomechanics and see how effectively we can run. So just kind of going through this style of running, it's like I said, just a little twist on all these other running styles. It's just more comprehensive and a more overall outlook of from top to bottom, how we run and why. So kind of learning about the method itself, we're just going to be kind of learning the very first thing that you kind of need to do. It sounds funny, how to fall. So just even if you stand up with me right now, whether you're facing the camera, if you're in front of one or anything like that, all I'm going to have you do is kind of right here, fall forward. I want you kind of feel, how uneasy do you feel doing that? Are you comfortable? Are you really uncomfortable? Like how are you feeling? So just going from the side, you're just kind of starting with that and just kind of falling forward. Okay, and then, so did you see any differences between those two and just kind of coming here? Which foot do you use? How do you feel? Where are your shoulders at? Just kind of taking those little points itself. So that's the number one thing with the pose method, learning how to fall. That's not where it's going to end. That's just the start. So when we do fall, okay, what are we doing with our leg first? All right, are we pulling with our hip flexor or are we pulling with our hamstring? Which one looks better? If I was going to be running long distance, here or here? Yeah, the second one, hamstring. So if you complain about a lot of hip tightness, you could be, not entirely, but you're probably pulling a little too much with those hip flexors. So there's three muscles that comprise. I'm not going to get into that now, but we should be using the hamstring, glute, a whole heck of a lot more. So some people call the glute the powerhouse of the body. Use that powerhouse, okay? So it's going to be something that you need to develop over time. You need progression with this too. So when we kind of go through, I almost use an analogy of, hey, tie a rope to your heel. All right, it's all tied up. So I'm going to grab that rope. I'm going to pull it. So just think about pulling the rope. Do that a few times. Boom, boom, boom. Do it with the other leg. All right, now we're pulling. Okay, once we create a pattern and a habit, okay, now, all right, we're mapping some things. We're getting used to movements in our head. So now when we kind of pull and fall, ooh, okay, now think about where you're striking. Where's your foot? Are you someone who's going to be here and stopping just like a kickstand on a bike? Do we want to use physics to our advantage or disadvantage? Yeah, I very much hope you said advantage. So we're going to be doing that. So if you're going to be a big heel striker, you're taking away your momentum. You're killing it. Do you ever feel like it's totally exhausting? Not cardiovascularly, but kind of economically throughout your body to run? Okay, it shouldn't be. We are made to run as human beings. Like we used to run animals down back in the day. So we can get back to that. Okay, we just have to try hard. That's the only thing. So we start with our pull from our hamstring, and we're going to be falling right here. Okay, a little too far out. We're right here. So are you landing really high on the toe, more on the ball of the foot, or on the heel? We should be kind of right in the sweet spot, just like a baseball bat, softball bat. You hit that sweet spot, right around there. So if we're repetitively kind of going through this cycle, I want you to think of a pendulum when you're running. How can we be kind of pulling through and going through that cycle? So when we're falling through, we should already be trying to pull through with the next step. Boom, using physics to our advantage. So we're going to be getting much more into the nitty-gritty of this, but that's just a quick little thing. So we're going to move up and down the chain, looking at alignment, where our foot should be relative to our hip. It should be under it, but we'll get into more detail with that too. And the progressions, we'll get into exercises, flexibility, some strength training for running, because you should always be, if you're a runner, you should also be doing some type of strength conditioning. So move often, move well, and have fun. All right, we'll be back with more videos. Thanks.